Hi, everyone, and we're live. Welcome to the Katie Halper Show. We are launching a special feature, a special series called Radical Self-Care for All. And basically what we're going to do is, as people probably know, on the Katie Halper Show, we try to get people connected to, well, a community, an online community, which apparently exists, which is great. And then we're also trying to get people kind of get them information about how to make the world a better place. So we will do shows about the eviction moratorium, and maybe it's that Katie Halper show bump because Biden did extend it a little bit, not enough. But we try to do shows where we don't just talk about the problems, but we also will show you some solutions, perhaps. And we shared this petition about Cuomo's corruption. And on the housing episode that we did, we had a lot of people sharing resources about what to do if you are evicted or if you lose your home, lose your housing. So this is that special episode that we're doing. And the idea is it's radical self-care for all. It's a little borrowing from St. Bernard, Bernie Sanders, Medicare for all. So we have self-care for all. And self-care is often something that very privileged people do. And we don't believe in that here at the Katie Halper Show. We want to make self-care available for everyone. And of course, this doesn't mean that we're abandoning more communal projects and political consciousness and awareness. I don't think we could ever do that. I don't think most people who watch the show could ever do that. So really excited. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go over some depressing headlines, and then we're going to get into some self-care because you can't fight the revolution if you're really bummed out and burned out. And that way, hopefully you'll feel better. So we're going to do some actual exercises. Now, if you have it with you, grab some water because we got to be hydrated. That's one of my commitments in life. I do not drink enough water. So everyone should grab some water. I made some watermelon water. It's really good. Okay. The recipe for this is just mint and watermelon and water. Okay, someone's calling me. You see? That is sorry, I can't talk right now. That's kind of a mean thing to say, but it's one of the options. Thank you. This is a reminder from the God I don't believe in to shut off my phone. So grab some water. We're going to be hydrated. Also, make sure that if you have them, grab some colored pencils or markers or crayons or something. I have a kind of sad limited selection. Oh, wait, guys, it's actually duo color. So I was really bummed. I was like, great. Red, not to sound spoiled, but I was like, okay, great. I have green, red, yellow, but I have so many more. If that isn't a metaphor for looking at the glass half full versus empty. Although in this case, actually, the takeaway is look at it half empty, and then you'll be pleasantly surprised. And our guest, Stella, we have a real psychotherapist guest, guys, not just someone talking out of their bums, but a real psychotherapist guest. And she'll tell us about my theory or about really whether we should look at the glass half empty or half full. I think, spoiler alert, I think it's going to be that we should look at it as half full, but we'll soon see. But so I got my colored pencils. But guess what, guys? Great news. Let's say you don't have any colored pencils. Let's say you don't have any markers or crayons. Stella, our guest, and I'm going to, even though I'm not going to bring her in for a couple of minutes, I'm going to give you an intro. I'm going to tell you her intro. Stella has created this presentation, which she made especially for the Katie Halper Show. Okay. She made it so that if you don't have markers or pencils or crayons, you can still participate by writing. So she has everyone covered. Okay. So let's go. Ready? I'm going to go. We're going to do another name for this. I was playing around with a lot of names. So there's Democracy Later. And hi, everyone. Hi, Carne. Hi, Tiwaz. Hi, Toasty Toast. Hi, Manny. We got some new people. We got some old people. I love all of them. Happy Friday. Of course, Choose the Heretics, Choose Carnation Revolution now. I wonder what he thinks about the Carnation Revolution. Just kidding. He's a huge fan of it. That's the nonviolent revolution that took place in Portugal. Don't remember what year. Gary S. Seth, he gets it. Better living through better chemistry. And that's all I have to say about that. Although maybe that's another issue. But chemistry is related to all this stuff. We got some new people, and then we got some returns. Renato Silva, hello. David Williams, Buki John Duma, Carne Verde. Dan L. Values, I like that. Mountain Dweller. So let's get this show on the road, okay? We're going to go through some very depressing headlines, and then we'll get into the self-care. And as I said, Stella, let me just tell you her bio quickly. Okay, ready? Get set, go. Stella Badalian is a psychotherapist, mental health counselor, life coach, and founder of Become What You Wish coaching company. She implements an innovative, integrative, and individualized approach to teach tools, coping methods, and techniques for her clients to discover their passions and reach their desired goals. Okay, so thank God we have someone who I'm bringing in to the room, Stella Badalian. Hi, Stella. How are you?
Hi, everyone. Hi, Katie.
Hi. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Stella, as I said, is a therapist. She has what would you, not an organization, a project called Become What You Wish.
That's a company, yes.
Company.
Coaching company.
See, I'm so, this is.
You are doing great.
Thank you. Yeah. She's going to help me lower my anxiety because she is a licensed professional counselor. But you actually, just so people know, you include various modalities such as CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy, DBT, dialectical behavior therapy, psychodynamic approach, mindfulness-based techniques, art therapeutic techniques, and so on. So we are so excited to have you on, and you very generously, you created like a unique presentation for us, if I'm not mistaken. And let me just open that up right now. And tell us more about yourself. Tell us something that we won't necessarily know from your website. Anything that you want people to know.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Katie, for presenting me. And also, I would like to share, right? It's a lot of modalities out there, but it's very individual, like to understand what you want to do in your life, and also about self-care. We hear so many stereotypes and people having hard time and suffering through self-care because those are typical like ideas about it. You should do this, and not really individualizing what is there for you. So today we'll have an exercise to understand what do you really want, what are your needs, how you can apply them in your life.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much. And again, we're very committed to making this, although Stella, this is her bread and butter. So she's very generously agreed to do this for free because we are committed to making sure that these things are available to people who can't necessarily afford them, but we all pay it forward. So someone said they love your accent. May I reveal what country you're from?
Armenia. I'm from Armenia originally, and I live in New York for the past 13 years. So, yes.
Great. Much like other friend of the show, James Adomian, one of my favorite guests. So, okay, we're going to share your presentation.
Awesome.
Okay.
I can share it too if you want.
Oh, yeah, sure. You want to do that? That way you can control it. Okay.
Yes. Let me know if you can see it. Okay.
Okay, then add to screen.
Yes. Can you see it?
Yep, there.
Awesome.
Great.
All right.
Is it showing up? It's showing up. It's showing up.
Can you see it?
Yes. Great.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. So we're going to talk today about self-care, right? Through creativity. And why we call it creativity for two reasons. First reason is if you want, can use paper, markers, pencils, crayons, colorful pens, some other, or acrylic even if you have for that, or not. You can also use your just pen and paper for this. And we called it creative also because we're going to use creative methods in terms of like use creativity to understand what do you really want, what needs do you have, because it's so many like, I don't know, information we hear, right? From social media, from TV, what should we do? What should we not do? And this is an opportunity for you to connect with your needs and understand how you can apply it in your life. So now I'm going to just talk a little bit about left and right hemisphere of the brain. I'll explain you why after going over this.
Sorry, that was me. That was the opening of this page. So ignore. Sorry about that.
No worries. So probably a lot of you know. If you don't, that's great too. So basically, the left part of the brain is responsible for logic, like linear thinking, facts, thinking in words, right? Mathematics, like logical thinking, basically. And if you are right-handed, if you write with your right hand, most likely your left part of the brain is more developed. And our right part of the brain, basically for people who use their left hand when they write, It's mostly for imagination, holistic thinking, intuition, art, right? Feelings, visualization, nonverbal cues. So that part of the brain, most of the people like suppress a little bit, right? We don't give enough attention to that part of the brain. And I know some people are left-handed and they use them more. But today we want to really take a look and see, what do we suppress? What kind of needs do we suppress? How many times like we want to do something and then logically we kind of push it away and don't understand our needs, do not connect with our body. So that's why today I suggest that you use your left hand in the exercises. It doesn't matter if you're going to draw, paint, or write. Even if you're going to write, using your left hand is an important part of today's exercise.
And it doesn't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed, you're saying?
Yes, I would suggest still to use the left one. Yes, to connect to your body. Yes.
Okay, great. So,
and I know whoever uses their left hand, it's easier for them.
Yeah, they're cheap. It's like one of the only times in life, right, where they have an advantage. They used to be really discriminated against.
It's understandable. And also in a lot of countries, when people are using their left hand, they're forced to use their right hand. So it's an opportunity for some people who are also suppressed to use
reparations. It's hand reparations.
Exactly. Yeah, so this way you're going to have the opportunity to connect to your intuition, to your body, and also it gives you opportunity also, do not think like I want to do it perfect in a logical way to show it to somebody or to show it to myself. This way you know it's going to be messy. It's going to be whatever it comes out because it's your left hand,
Yeah.
Awesome.
By the way, people who are talking ish in the chat, just if you want to say something which I think has no basis, just put your money where your mouth is, and then we'll read your comment. I'm being generous. You can pay $1. Of course, I'll read people's positive comments, but if you want your kvetchy comment to be read, throw down some money. Okay, keep going.
Okay. Great. So again, I spoke a little bit about stereotypes, right? About self-care that we hear, and then it's difficult, and we suffer to apply it in our life and then we feel guilty that we didn't apply them in our life because it's so many to-do lists, so many shoulds that it's difficult to have them all because we don't connect individually to our needs. So that's why today we're going to go over that. Okay. So also during the exercise, if some of you want to put some music on, if you sit comfortably wherever you're sitting, or if you feel safe in your environment, so you can concentrate on the exercise.
Awesome.
So for now, and Katie, I don't know if you want to do it too.
Of course, yeah.
Awesome. All right. If you want also, at some point when we start drawing or writing, if you want, you can put some nice music on the background, or whoever wants, they can put for themselves. And for now, just sit comfortably, like ground your feet. Just make sure you're sitting comfortably and take a long, smooth breath. Just expand your belly, like hold it a little bit, yeah, and then exhale. And again, take a long, smooth breath. You can close your eyes or you can leave it open. It's up to you, however you feel comfortable. Just make sure you can breathe in all that oxygen. And then hold it a little bit in your stomach and breathe out. Breathe in one more time. And then you can hold it a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then breathe out through your mouth, like letting go whatever doesn't serve you right now. Yes. Okay, beautiful. And now please put your hand, right hand, on your chest. It's on the picture displayed if you want to take a look. And just ask yourself a question. And it works best if you can close your eyes and ask yourself, what do I need right now? This exercise activates certain part of the brain. So please try to do that and stay with it for about a minute and see what shows up for you. Just ask yourself, what do I need right now? And just be with it. Pay attention to any emotions, any thoughts, sensations also arising. Whatever it is, it's all fine. Just pay attention to that area, the warmth from your hand. Like give that attention to that area, that the area is safe with you right now. And just ask again, what do I need right now? Maybe you're going to have different kind of needs showing up. It also can be something that your inner child wants to do, something, some basic needs. Whatever it is, it's fine. And you can continue doing this as long as you want. And whenever you're ready, from connection from your body, now you can open your eyes and just take that paper that you have and pencils, even if you don't have pencils, any like pen you have, you can write it down or draw it. Draw your needs. Like what would be self-care for you through your individual needs. And don't try to think about anything. Just let your hand lead the way, because your hand is going to be connected to your body, not to your logic. Like just go with the flow. Even if you don't know where to start, it's fine. Just choose the color that you feel more attracted to. If you're writing, just go with the flow.
Left hand? With our left hand?
Yes,
I forgot.
left
Lines
hand.
with our left hand.
Yes, yes. With your left hand. You can even ask yourself questions there. Whoever is writing also, like write the question with the left hand. Wow. What do I need right now? And then see what your, like that inner part that have that needs to be satisfied, what they want.
It's taking me forever to write.
Yeah. It's not rushing here. No one is rushing here. Take your time.
I couldn't if I wanted to. With my left hand. Okay.
That's why.
Oh yeah, this is very not
usual,
unfamiliar
right?
for me.
Yeah, exactly. You want to bring yourself through some zone where you can be expressed differently, not the usual way. If you're using colorful pencils, crayons, you can even combine both writing and like drawing whatever comes up, some colors, throw some colors. Just go with it. Let your inner child express itself.
Do we need anything to have our inner child show up, or it just shows up?
Yeah, just go with the flow, see what shows up. And sometimes when you draw with art therapeutic techniques, it's interesting how it shows up. Sometimes when you draw, you may not even know what does it mean. Sometimes when you finish the drawing, it's like, oh my God, I had no idea I was about to draw this. And that's something that showed up from connection to your body.
I'm kind of drawing whatever I usually draw. So wait, let me try to shut that off.
Yes, let your hand lead you.
It'd be funny if I look down, there was like a masterpiece.
You never know. And it's not about the result, right? It's about the process. Yes.
I wanted to draw a zebra, but because my eyes were closed and it was in my left hand, it was kind of like a hippo.
Yeah.
You're like, very good, hungry hippo. Okay, let's see.
Yes. You can also like ask yourself questions while you're drawing, let's say, or you can write a question with the left hand and answer whatever questions you have to yourself. It can be, what should I do for myself, right? How self-care individual is going to look like for me. However the questions are, write it down and then see what shows up for you.
I keep having popping into my head our to-do lists. Like, oh, I have to call this person. I have to return this thing.
This is great, right? That shows up for you. Yeah, that's what happens in life probably often. When you're trying to connect to your body, some distractions come up. Yeah, that's why that way you want to concentrate on your hand and just go with it. That's why it helps also to put on a music. I don't know if you have a music, you can turn it on too.
I probably would have to. I don't have the copyright sorted.
Yeah, I got that. Yes, that's why I was not sure what we can use as a music. Yes. But if you are doing this exercise wherever you are,
anyone but Katie, Halper, or Stella.
You're more than welcome to use whatever music you have in your phone.
Yeah. Play the music that we can play.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you feel like some thoughts coming up, you can go back to your body, close your eyes, scan your body, just be present to it, and then open again, and just try to then just fill in that paper with whatever comes out. This is your opportunity just to be, not to prove anyone anything, not to compete, just to be with yourself.
Just getting more water. Someone asked why the left hand. You know what it is?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I shut off.
I
I shut off my phone, but I have to somehow shut off my.
Yes. So to answer the question why the left hand, we went through a little bit earlier, because when it's a left hand, then right part of the brain gets activated, right part of the hemisphere, which is the imagination, intuition, feelings, visualization, daydreaming. So it's easier to connect to the body when we use the left hand, because left hand is connected to the right part of the brain, and right hand is connected to the left part of the brain, which is the logic, facts, thinking brain, right? So it's like cross, you know.
Okay, there. I shut off the. All right, great.
I'm going to come back to this. People can be present to this.
Writing your left hand. Okay. Now, do people with addiction problems ever like crave the things that their go-tos, or do they, when they do this, realize what it is that they want?
This is very good question, actually. Yeah. So with this, first reaction might be that before connecting to the body, the same way it came to you, like, should I do this, right? I should return this call. All those distractions come up. The same way that urge can come in first, in a way of distraction. But if you connect a little bit deeper, understanding what's behind it, because like why people drink, right? A lot of people use alcohol to shut down, again, not being able to connect to the body. That's coming out through suppression. So what's behind it? Why do you want to drink? What do you want to shut down? What part of yourself you are not connected yet? And again, it's like very individual. I don't want to generalize this, but just use this opportunity a little bit to connect that part. And a lot of people also, I noticed, use the alcohol or any drugs like to shut down that logic part of the brain, you know. So this is another way to do that in a more constructive way.
Oops.
Katie, are you drawing or you're mixing?
Both. Okay. But maybe I'll, I think I'll just go straight for drawing for a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's whatever comes into my head?
Yeah, whatever comes in. Not to your head, to your hand.
Oh, right. Well, so I'm like drawing a lightning bolt, but that came into my head. But you're saying I should just put the pen to paper.
Yes.
And see what happens?
Just see where does it take you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not thinking.
Yes. Just draw the first line and then go with it. It can be messy, it doesn't have to look a certain way. It's not a competition. This is almost like mindfulness moment, being present. And try to be honest with yourself.
About what?
About whatever is happening in your body, whatever wants to come out, if you're writing something.
I'm not going to overthink it, because I always draw faces, and I'm drawing faces now, and I'm like, I shouldn't be doing that. I should be drawing.
Yes, this is the moment where you want to break the cycle and do something different.
Damn. But it's a fun challenge to do it with the left hand.
I know.
It's not that hard. It's not as hard. I mean, it's much easier than writing is drawing.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. And you can do this exercise anytime you want to connect some parts of yourself that you feel like you don't pay attention.
Belk John Doma has an interesting question.
What is the question?
If I'm drawing in my mind, what part of my brain does the drawing and what part does the perception of what I'm drawing?
Well, it's very different. It can be both together, right? It's not totally separate, but it can be both together because you may use some logical part and some imagination. It's very complex. But when you start like drawing and using your left hand, it starts dominating the right part of the brain. And that's fine if you want to imagine in your head and then draw, but try to just go with the flow and see the result after your hand draws something. You can even do it with your hands if you have some like crayons that you can do with hands, a little bit being messy around it.
Oh, like trace your hands?
Yeah, it's therapeutic even to do that.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
They have those crayons with water crayons. They call it something like that.
Craypa?
Yeah, something like that. I forgot the name, but basically you can use the water and then you draw with a crayon and then start spreading with the water.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah, it's almost like gives you acrylic effect, but it's not acrylic. It's not that messy.
I think it's craypa. No,
I think so. Yeah.
I'm writing on the back of my notes from my show yesterday.
Yes. And at some point, if you want to be another time to do it when you're more prepared, something like to take even more time to really turn on music, you can use acrylics. That really works because it brings on that more creative and like messy part, you know.
And fumes.
Yeah.
Like gets you high. I'm just kidding. All right, I made this. I did a double.
Yes, I don't see it now. I need to stop sharing before seeing yours. Yeah. We're gonna. I have some more stuff. Let's wait 1 more minute so everybody complete, and then I'm gonna move forward.
This show is a bunch of lefties, by the way.
Oh.
I mean, ideologically, not sure what the.
Yeah. After we go over a little bit your drawing, painting, then I'll share some more tips about destructive and pleasurable activities, how you can apply them as a self-care.
Great.
But I will share that on the screen after we go over a little bit of yours. Did you complete yours?
Someone said, why is my 1980s toy a spinning top appearing?
That's an interesting question to ask. What is there?
Here's my hand that I drew with my left hand with 2 colored pencils.
Wow, interesting. How was the experience for you?
Good. It was hard for me to get out of my head, and I was like, "Is this weird for me to do?" I have a politics podcast, and you know, is this weird? Are people going to judge me? And then I got out of my head a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And what does it mean to you, hand, when you take a look at it? What does it mean to you? And everyone wants to take a look, like to see what is it for you, right? For a lot of people, hand can be different things, but what is it when you take a look at it?
Hand?
The one you draw.
I just, I mean, the truth is I traced it and I thought of it because you suggested tracing it. But it was a nice thing to do because I didn't have to choose what to do. I didn't have to overthink it.
That's interesting. I didn't suggest tracing. Maybe that's how it was.
I think I misunderstood you.
Blended, but that's interesting too, that you took on that as a tracing and you put it.
Yeah, that's what I thought you had said at some point.
Yeah, maybe it was like, but that can be too. It's your creation.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess my subconscious wanted me to draw my hands.
Yeah. Is it something you like to do with your hands that you don't usually do, or something you want to try on? Is it like, because it sounds like you are a lot of here, right? Like thinking, logic, a lot of stuff. So it sounds like hand came out for you.
Oh yeah.
A way of doing something with hands to connect to your body. Like I wonder, what can you do with hands? Something to explore.
Yeah, now that you said that, I really want to do like ceramics or something. I don't have experience. Have I ever done that? I did some stuff in high school, but I do miss doing
Yeah.
art stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. When we become adults, we kind of give up a lot of hobbies, and those hobbies really serve us.
Yeah.
Yes.
When I was a little kid, apparently I would wear like a beret and paint at an easel.
Mm,
I gotta
very
go
nice.
find those photos. Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like something you really want to do. It would be a great self-care for you, like something unique.
Yeah.
It almost came like hand, doing something with hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. And can you do it anytime this month or next month?
Yeah, I can make that happen. I have to figure out what I want to do.
Like basically in the situation, you can see where you can find something you want, maybe telling some people or looking up online, and like do not procrastinate that basically, because now you have this realization you want to do it. And if you don't put it in existence, then you may again start going into the logic and like
Yeah.
pushing that part of you that needs that. Yes.
Yeah. All right, I'll do that. Yeah. What do I want to do? There's actually, I think there's some ceramics classes around here. I'll look into it. I'll do something that either ceramics or painting or.
Oh, beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else with your hands you wanted to do? Is it like maybe cooking or something else like daily you can do? Like some also fidget toys work. If you feel like it can bring back to your body, if you have some fidget
knitting.
toys.
I like knitting.
Yeah.
I really like knitting.
Yeah. Yeah, that can be another thing to do.
Yeah. What else?
Is there anything else in your drawing that?
Let me see. What else did I do?
Or the color you used, or?
Oh, look at this, guys. Look at how cool this is. I've been stuck on this is very helpful. I've been stuck on a website idea for weeks and weeks. Maybe something opened up.
Yeah, I wonder what opened up.
Lisa writes, if you make something that's a gift to give, it's an extra motivator. That's very true. Yeah, sculpting. I've been wanting to do sculpting. And then someone says, has research ever been done if artists painting, sculpture, etc., are left-handed more than right?
I'm not aware about the research, but might be a research. But yes, I heard that some of them were left-handed for sure. And also historically, the left-handed part was suppressed, right? In a school, they were saying they used to do it right-handed. They may not even know they were left-handed.
Yeah, they and all those words like sinister. Italian is like sinistra is like sinister for left, and in Spanish it's well, I don't know. In French it's gauche. You know.
Yeah, in some countries it's still happening, so they're trying to change. Yes, and so you can still explore and continue doing this daily if you can give some attention to yourself. At least if you cannot do with crayons and pencils, that's fine. But you can use your left hand and like do some mindfulness exercise, connect to your body, and then ask yourself question: what can I do for myself today? For self-care. So it doesn't come from the logic and from the brain or the social media that you see all those pictures that most of them are not real, right? But it's really coming from yourself, from connection to your body through your real needs that is there for you to satisfy your needs. Oh, my mom yelled at me to be righty. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, that's true. That also brings, right, certain part of ourselves that we don't accept. So this is an opportunity for you also to connect to those parts that was suppressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is there anything else for you, Katie, around the drawing, or you want me to move on to the activities I want to share?
Yeah, the activities.
Yeah, that may give also ideas to people. Yeah. Since this is right after the exercise, so this might be helpful.
Is it true? Is Stella lower than me? If so, I'll go in and adjust. I'll make her mic louder.
Oh, okay. Might be, or I can talk louder.
Okay, let's see. Edit mic settings. Okay. Can you count to 10?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can you hear me?
Is that good? People, let us know. Not too many people. Not too many conflicting theories, but yeah. Okay.
Okay, good. Yes. And also maybe I was talking a little bit lower voice during meditation, so it was not that loud. Okay, so first I would like to introduce this idea of identifying for yourself distracting and pleasurable activities. and have it somewhere visible to write them down. Why? Because when it's advisable to have distracting activities, and basically this is from DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy. Distracting activities are advisable when you feel overwhelmed already, right? Some needs were not met, you didn't do enough self-care, something happened, some news, you're overwhelmed basically. Then it's okay to do those distractive activities to bring back to balance your emotions, and then move on and do whatever you want to do. And pleasurable activities is advisable to do when you just do in general self-care, right, for your well-being. And I'm going to go over them now. So again, distracting activities are recommended when you feel overwhelmed. So it can be like the list of them, and sometimes there is an overlap. For you, some of them can be distracting, some of you can be pleasurable, but those are certain lists that may give you some activities. And pleasurable activities for taking care of your well-being, as I said, in advance, right, to have fulfilled life. So some distracting activities, washing dishes and cleaning. Whoever doesn't like washing dishes and cleaning, when you feel overwhelmed, that can really bring you back to your body, believe it or not. Because that moment when you're washing dishes, Katie, even you, seems like you want to do something with your hands. I don't know if you like washing dishes, but when you feel overwhelmed, maybe sometimes you can do that too. Yeah, it's really like organizing things or doing something with hands. And also taking care of your plants. It can be both distracting and can be both pleasurable activity. But if you're not into doing these things, you can do it when you want to distract yourself. And doing homework, things that you usually think like, oh, I don't want to do it, or reading something, it can be also a good way to distract that moment from those overwhelming feelings. And also organizing, as I said, your closet, drawers, desk, or
what
cooking.
if that's overwhelming?
Yeah, like if it's overwhelming for you, don't do it. But if you feel like organizing itself in general brings that distraction, sometimes because you're concentrating on that, initially it might be overwhelming, but at some point it starts bringing that moment of like going with that. But it's very individual. That's why I'm sharing all those, so you can choose your own. And basically, you can do even this exercise that we did earlier to see which one works for you the best. And like, again, a lot of people don't like cooking, right? So it's just one of the ideas. And helping someone else, because for distraction, right? It's a lot of people love doing that. It's also certain needs we have to help people, but also it's another way to distract from your problems,
Right.
and like being in somebody else's world, which is good for them, good for you. So that's another way of doing. And running, walking also connects to our bodies.
Puts things in perspective.
Yes, for sure, for sure. And also clearing your mind, right? If you can do running and walking, especially if you have some area where you can do that. And even paying bills that most of the people don't like, right? If you're
Yeah.
overwhelmed, that's one of the things that can make you focused and like take your mind off from things. And watching a movie, talking to a friend, eating, collecting things. And also just to mention distracting activities, it's good to do at some point, right? It's not good to do all the time, because at some point it can become avoidance behavior.
Right.
So just to watch out for that, right? Okay, and pleasurable activities. Again, like camping, like anything related to the nature. If you can, especially most of the people probably here maybe live in New York. I can talk to ourselves, like living in New York, sometimes like you need that break, right? To be in the nature, even in a park. Yeah, and doing crafts and designing, something like we did today, right? You can even create your arts doing certain crafts you did when you were a child, even with your pictures, something that you want to go and buy, create that colorful day for yourself. You can do it even with friends or alone, playing some music that you like. Basically create for yourself some cheerful event. You don't have to have a reason for that, you know. And also relaxing, meditating, reading. I just want to say this because relaxing itself, it's so different for everyone, right? For somebody it's reading, for somebody it's meditating, for somebody it's walking in the nature or hiking. You want to really understand what is really relaxing for myself. Don't go with whatever is modern, whatever everybody tells you to do. Just really connect yourself, understand like what is it that I want to do for relaxation daily, and really book that time for yourself in your calendar. Like so, it's like basically having boundaries with yourself. And even if some event somebody wants to talk to you at that time, something like that, no, that time is scheduled for yourself, you know. So pay attention when you cross those boundaries with yourself. And also, of course, getting a massage, going to spa. I know nowadays it's a little bit challenging with COVID still happening, but maybe creating something at home, lighting up some candles and lavender at night. It's like very relaxing, or some tea, and being with friends in general, right?
But what about, sometimes I notice when I'm upset about something, something like a massage or a bath with lavender will, maybe it's like healthy, but I guess this is where you want distracting activities.
Oh, this is perfect. Yeah, this is perfect that you said that, because this is exactly what I was saying. When you feel overwhelmed, those pleasurable activities are not going to be like that pleasurable anymore. That moment you want to just distract yourself to calm. If you cannot do it by calming yourself different way, breathing, and anything else is overwhelming, that you just want to distract yourself. Because then if you distract yourself, your body is going to bring back that balance. So you're going to forget what you're dealing with. And then after that, you can do self-care activities, whatever you want to do. I don't know, candle or breathing. Then after that, you can do it.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's different. There's overwhelm where, and then there's upset. And it's when I'm upset that I may not want to think about, I may want distraction.
Yes, exactly. And again, like probably we all notice, right? When we're upset, not everyone maybe, but let's say if you watch a movie or you're doing something even for work, it really distracts you. And then after a while, it's a little bit less than before. So sometimes if you can talk to somebody, that's great. But if you do not have those options, like distracting yourself, and also when you're upset or something, again, fidget toys help, like squeezing something, right? Like even having, if it's really overwhelming emotions in DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, yeah, they suggest to even take an ice cube from the freezer and like just hold it, that temperature change for a second, for a couple of seconds, really bring back to your body. That's when it's for regulating emotions, when it's very overwhelming, or like washing your face. Yes, that like temperature change, like again, connects you to your body back. So basically, you know you're alive. You even hold your hand. You know you're back to your body. And also just to talk about self-compassion, right? So when we reach out to burnout, most likely we pushed our limits, our boundaries, and consider what would you suggest to a friend, right, in this situation? Because most of the time we're very kind with our advices, with friends, but sometimes we're not that compassionate towards ourselves. Like just remind yourself that it's okay to take a break, and use some of the activities I mentioned. Just connect to yourself and see which one works for you, and have it somewhere written. So when you are, let's say, overwhelmed, you have this distractible activities list. And when you want to do some self-care, you have this list as well, what works for you, what's not. And basically recognizing, understanding your needs that I mentioned earlier, and boundaries. What I mentioned, it's not only boundaries with others, but boundaries with yourself. Just paying attention, how often do we cross our own boundaries? And having a good self-care routine. So after recognizing your needs and understanding your self-care, it's going to become self-care routine. Then it's going to be your individual one. You can even have it somewhere in front of your desk written, or in your phone, in a calendar, but have it somewhere in existence. The same way you have something in existence for your work, have this also in existence. And also, this is the website and the YouTube channel I have. I have some psychological subjects there about different areas, also regulating emotions, some other mindfulness exercises. So if you're interested, you can go to the channel also to subscribe. Now I would stop sharing.
Thanks, Stella. That was great.
Sure.
Someone said something that I think is really key, which is toxic relationships are classical cases when we would tell our friends to break up, but we stay. I think that's like, to me, where that comes out the most is in relationships, when you tell yourself something and you realize that if your friend were telling you about that, you'd be like, run. Yes. Or don't run, don't be avoidant, but you'd be like, maybe that's not you know, for you, or maybe you should look at.
Yeah, it shows like how compassionate we can be towards somebody else, or notice things, and like cross boundaries with ourselves. Basically, sometimes we ourselves think we're very strong, we can handle everything, which is great, but it's also good to pay attention, like taking care of ourselves in advance, like you're taking care of your inner child, let's put it that way.
Right. or you have limiting, what is it? Self-limiting beliefs about yourself. So you'll stay in a relationship.
Yeah.
Or, you know, in a way that you may not have those limiting beliefs about someone else.
Yes. Totally.
You'd be like, yeah. This is an interesting question. Does Stella have advice on how I can commit myself to heeding good advice? I don't know if that's a joke, but that's definitely something I deal with. I'm like, okay, how do I now do this thing? That
you mean yeah, go ahead.
No, like discipline. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great question. And the best thing also having is accountability. If you can find somebody in your life, friend or somebody with you can have accountability partner, basically, like together you want to take care of your self-care, and then you keep each other accountable. Did you do this today? What did you put in a calendar, in your schedule? And check in with each other. When do you cross the boundaries with yourself? Like that is another way to be disciplined, and put it in existence in your calendar.
Yeah, so we can do that, guys, on this show. Does Stella have advice on deep loneliness and panic attacks?
Yes, this is a little bit another subject. I don't know. We can. Yeah. It's a long subject. One day we can talk about this. But definitely, like when you take care of your needs, it's gonna give some self-care, and it's gonna diminish it a little bit. It's one of the reasons as well. But definitely, it's a huge subject. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you. This was great.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, we got to figure out.
Thank everyone for joining also, and being open to explore, discover something new for yourself.
And how do I balance being sarcastic with this?
Sarcastic, yes. And I wonder, like the first question you want to ask for yourself, when are you being sarcastic? Because sarcasm can be psychological defensive mechanism. So yeah, you want to ask yourself, when do I use it? Do I sometimes use it to disconnect even from myself?
Definitely not.
I got that. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Yes, and you want to notice first when you think something works for you or doesn't work for you, whatever you want to notice, right? First, identifying something, being aware of it. Let's say you want to work on yourself, you want to do something, and then you're being sarcastic. Like, what's basically, how does it serve you, and what does it take away? Basically, pay out and pay off. And maybe create a list, what works for you around that, what's not, because it's serving something as well.
Well, I kind of want to start it's a balance, right? Because I do feel like there are a lot of people who are. I should do a show where I'm in character, making fun of not at all you. You're a great person. There's really nothing mockable about you, but there are a lot of mockable people who are, what's it called, spiritual bypass,
something like that.
Anyway, but anyway, some of these are really stupid. Sorry, this is funny.
Yeah, I saw that.
Someone, look, people want to share this. Yes, we will keep it up. I just don't. I can't have it boring. Sarcasm works to vent. I mean, this what you're. You know, I'm obviously I got to bring the sarcasm to my show.
Yes, because it can be like certain skills that you want to use, and you said you like to do certain characters. It reminds me of drama therapy. I don't know if you heard about that. When people actually acting certain acts, it's the way you process things. Let's say you have suppressed anger, and in drama therapy, you're acting that angry person that you cannot embody. And it's another way to process it and let it out.
Yeah.
Yes. Never forget to hydrate. I like that. I'm gonna hydrate.
That's true. That's why I'm drinking. Yeah. Yeah. Nietzsche had it. Okay. This is an interesting comment. Yeah. Humor. I think humor can be therapeutic because you have to laugh instead of cry.
Of course.
Or do both at the same time. So
basically, all those things can be therapeutic. The only thing to notice when it's a lot, right? It becomes like out of balance. Let's say using humor, if it's too many times, and then it disconnects you from what are you going through, and it's like basically a psychological defense mechanism too.
Right.
But when does it serve you? When it becomes like a little bit too much, and then it's in the way of something.
Right. Like if someone wants to talk about something that they're upset you did, that's not a time to be sarcastic, guys.
Yeah, that's basically the moment when it's like, certain emotions, feelings come up. It's hard to connect to them, deal with them. that's when we do, and it's fine too. It's just to notice how often do we do that, and how does it impact the relationships that we're having.
Yeah. Great. Well, Stella, thank you so much. And people can find her website and her work on her website, also at her YouTube.
Yeah, it's the same name. Become What You Wish. Instagram, YouTube, and the website is the same name.
Yeah. Great. Well, smiling helps release dopamine. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, when you smile, it makes your brain think like everything is okay, and your body thinks everything is okay. So it kind of produces certain hormones, and you start feeling better.
That's great. Well, I'll stay on for a couple minutes. I'll get people's heart rates back up by venting about some injustice, and just kidding. But I will stay on for a couple minutes. And thank you, for coming, Stella.
Yes, sure. You're welcome. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye. Have a good evening.
Bye. Bye. All right. I don't think I should talk about any news, because if I do, I'm going to, undo what just happened. Yeah, that was great. That was great. And everyone should have a great weekend. Oh, this is nice. Katie is real, which is why people love her. That's very nice. I will have Gabor Mate on. I feel like I say this a lot. Oh, this is interesting. Whoops. Intense workouts do as well. Going without it for a day when you were used to it can make you very depressed. Yeah, that's true. I got to get exercise back in there. All right. We got to build an accountability system. Yeah, the climate catastrophe is so dire. How dire is it? Yeah. Well, guys, have a great weekend, and don't worry, I'm leaving it up. So even though it's ending, it's not going anywhere.